like never before. Right? We discussed in the last class that is the various ways things are prepared by the artisans and how they compete the machine-made goods and artisans stopped their professions. Now, in this chapter, we shall explore the mission, how to dominate the artisan and how they given the impact of the lives of people. Let us discuss in today's class. During 1500s and 1800s AD, the trade were extensively developed. The business, the trade between America, Europe, Africa and Asia well developed in various ways. The traders are taking the authority on these people, on the artisans. See, first, increasing control of the traders. Control of the traders means the traders, how they control over on artisans as well as farmers. Right. See, in those times, farmers were left their agricultural land for grazing animal because there is no crop. But here, the traders are given advances to the farmers and as well as artisans to prepare agricultural goods. For example, they given advances to the farmers to cultivate qualified cotton in their agricultural land and artisans to prepare and the weave the cloth for the weavers and yarn the thread by the yarners. So like that they given advances to the different people so that they gain some work. They gain some work because of traders. Like that slowly the traders are gaining control over the farmers as well as traders as well as the artisans. And this system is called as a putting out system. Putting out system. Putting out system is nothing but is actually implemented by Europeans, especially Britain people. The Britishers are when come to the country, so they are complete. Actually, the production has take place in different stages. Am I correct or not? So first thing is cotton. Next, spinning. Next, yarning. Right. So weaving cloth. After that, finally dyeing and selling to the other place. Many stages over there. So here they did not take place all these work under one roof. You get my point? So different places they taken this work. Like they given work to the peasants to cultivate qualified work. And after that they are collecting the cotton and selling to the spinning people. Spinning work. So they prepare the thread. The thread is given to the other people to weave it. After that, these traders are collecting the weaving cloth and selling for the dyeing. Right. So different stages and giving to different people. Final touch after dyeing the cloth, the final touches are given by London, given by the traders in London. So final touch given to the cloth in London before trading to the person, before exporting to the other countries. You get my point? So all these works are done in different places. So that's why it called as a putting out system. Putting out system. But the final touch is done by London. Right. So here, what every trader consisting of every set of trader means different stages over there. Each and every stage consisting of some artisans. So here 20 to 25 traders hand over by the traders. Right. So here these artisans are take the authority over the artisans as well as peasants. Right. So after some time, these traders are thought that why don't we get all the people under one roof? You get my point? Because it takes much time to collect each and every things and make it as final good. It takes lots of time to control it, to overcome all these to organize well, they wanted to get under one roof, so that all these artisans are collected and kept in one roof, started their producers. What producers? Textile producers. Understand? So the small works are done in one roof. It's called as manufactories. What it called as? Manufactories. Understand? So it is very good. So whatever requirements of traders and to organize all these artisans is very easy to maintain. So that's why they kept under one roof. Right. And next, these manufactories are, everything is provided by the traders. One place is there, that is workplace. What that workplace is called as manufactories. So artisans have to come with their tools, just they work over there and back to homes. So for that they have taken remuneries. Remuneries is nothing but money or salaries by the traders. So like that, the traders are gain more control on craft persons, more control, more authority on craft persons. So these artisans are worked more time and the production also more. So more development over there in those periods. So that period is called as proto-industrialization. What is called as proto-industrialization. Proto means previous stage of industrialization. You get my point? Industrialization, proto-industrialization. Next. So beginning of industrial revolution. What is a revolution actually? Let us discuss here. Revolution is nothing but a great change of people, great change in a society. Okay, a tremendous change in the society actually revolution means. But here the revolution took place in industrial sector. Where? In industrial sector. So that's why it called as industrial revolution. So beginning of industrial revolution, what was the conditions? What were the conditions over there? Many changes. We can see many changes in between 1700 to 1850 AD. Right. So here, during 1750, machines and steam engines or steam machines are using extensively to move from one place to another for people as well as goods. And see, nowadays we are using many things which are made by machines, but the goods are already started to use from 1750 itself in Britain. So that's why these years 1750 is called as the machine age. Called as machine age means everything is maximum produced by the machines. So called as machine age. And this year also called as factory system. Later I will say about factory system. Right. Say 1750, the demand of cloth is more. The demand of cloth and as well as some articles which are made by artisans also demandable. To satisfy this demand, the traders were struggling a lot because the cloth which are made by the handlooms that is more expensive, and the work is done very slowly, done by the people, that's why very slowly. The work will be very slowly and the cloth also so costly. So that is why they wanted to prepare more cloth with a very faster. Right. The cloth must be very fast and the cloth must be low in price and must be durable. So all these are made by only with the help of machines. Am I correct or not? So that's why with the struggle of traders, they implemented spinning jenny. Because spinning is a very important. When they spin very fast so that they can make very fast. So that's why they invented, the great person James Hargrave invented 1721. James Hargreaves invented spinning jenny to spin the water, because that is a major work which is done in the production. So after that weaving, it is also very important. When it do fast, that also will move very fast. Understand? So with the help of spinning jelly, the spinning thread is very faster. But what is the problem there? As the machine is very fast, very heavy, the workers were very tired to push it. The hands and feet of the workers are very tired. And then again they wanted to one more wish. They wanted to gain something extra of this machine. What is the extra then? So without man and animal help, the machine have to work by itself. See, human wishes are unlimited. We know that. Am I correct or not? Human wishes are unlimited. If satisfied with the one thing, the next moment we wish one more thing. Am I correct or not? So that's why the spinning jelly, when they invented spinning jelly, they felt very happy. But what is the problem? It is very heavy. They can't lift it, they can't push it, they can't work with the heavy goods. They become tired. So that's why they wanted a new one. So very soon their dreams came true. Invented steam engine by James Watt. The great person, James Watt, invented steam engine. With the help of steam engine, the work done very easy manner, very easily. How it easily, let us see. James Watt, an English craftsman, invented steam engine. He noticed that steam had the great strength which could move enormous weight. And to tap this energy, he implemented steam engine. So where there is no necessary to work by the human or animal power. The thing is invented, the great thing, that is steam engine, was invented by James Watt. And that showed to Walton, and who was an industrialist. He was so much impressed, and he paid salary to James Watt to prepare steam engine. Right. So slowly he gained profits. And finally these two are getting an agreement, and Walton gave partnership to James Watt. That is 1/3 portion, because they gain more and more profits because of steam engine. That steam engine was implemented in different ways, like weaving, spinning and traveling, and on the water and on the road, as well as on the track, nothing but trains. So this tremendous change happened because of steam engine. The great credit goes to James Watt, an English craftsman. See children, observe this picture. This is spinning jenny. See, so weight. Even people were struggling to push to work with this machine. Okay, so after that, are you seeing the picture? Are you seeing it? Yeah, this is steam engine, James Watt, which is invented by James Watt. This is steam engine, right? So without human work or animal itself, it can work. Understand? Now we can see the tremendous change, how the vehicles are moving by using steam engines, right? Now, factory system. During 1750 and 1850, a new system emerged called factory system, where the production is held in small houses where the hundreds of people working in one place, which is called as factory. Where in the place of small tools and artisans, the huge machines and steam engines are using. Tremendous change we can see in factory system. Here, huge money is needed to implement, to product or to establish a factory. A person who is wealthy have the capability to establish a factory, only the person can do. Because to purchase machines, big machines, to provide tools and giving wages to the laborers, all this, it's a matter of huge money. The only person who are capable, the person only can establish a factory. The persons are called as capitalist. What is called as capitalist? Capitalists are nothing but factory owners. Who are called factory owners. Now here we can see guild system in factory. Guild system. Guild is nothing but group of people or association, number of people. The people are working in the factory and taking wages by the persons, by the owners. Right. And here the experience, the factory or especially they given inside the factory system and out of the factory system. Am I correct or not? In your textbook they given mines, coal mines or any mineral mines, and second thing is inside of the factories. Two situations they given in your textbook. So first is the coal mine, which is called as English coal mines, a small kid, meant 14 years below aged kids are called as child or kids. Am I correct or not? So here a small kid, child worker, is shared his experience in coal mine related to 19th century. Where it happened? England. English is nothing but England coal mine. So here what he said, actually to dig the coal they used pickaxes. Pickaxes. You get my point? So coal mines are, coal is present underground. We have to dig the ground, dig the earth. Then we can find the coal or any other minerals. Many minerals are present underground. That's another matter we can discuss later. And here to dig the coal they used pickaxes. It's a tool, small tool, and wagons. Wagons is nothing but it's a trolley to send these piece of coal sending from one place to another. They used wagons. Okay, so I will show what is the wagon. Are you seeing? Yeah, observe it. Two children are pushing this wagon. Are you seeing this? So this is wagon. See, observe these two children are pushing this wagon into forward. Right. So here, what happened? What he's saying? The child is saying that several children were working in coal mines, and what is their work? After filling up this wagon, they have to push forward along with the horse or mount. Along with them, these children also pushing forward. So meanwhile, they touching water canals or waterways, highlands and over slow steeps, lowlands. Much struggle over there, and they are working more than 12 hours. It seems more than 12 hours. What hard work, hardship it is. Am I correct or not? So we cannot work here. 8 hours is more than enough it is. But here they used to work 12 hours in coal mines. Right. So what happened yesterday night? What happened? When he pushing the wagons, meanwhile he was slept on the road itself. And his mom came to search of him, and he find her. She find him and sent to home itself. So children sleeping on the road itself. Because they were so tired, they are unable to go back to home. That's why on the road itself they might be sleep. Right, that is about 19th century. But here, several movements over there to stop the child employing. To stop the child employing means 14 years. Below 14 years, children should not work in the mines or factory. That must be abolished. Right, after a long time, they finally banned completely child labor, banned. Okay, banned in 19th century itself. Observe this picture all of you. Inside of the factory, This is inside of the factory and machines are available. Capitalists are present, organizers, men, supervisors are present, children are present and women also present. See, in early time, inside of the factory, what were the conditions actually? See, when these machines are implemented in the place of small tools and hand looms, tremendous change over there. See, huge number of artisans and workers lost their work. Because everything is done by the machine. There is no work to do by the people, by the artisans. So that's why they went out of the factories. So day by day what happened? Continuously new machines are implemented in the place of human. And these machines are run by the computers where there is no need of human work, human hand. Right. So here one of the person shared his experience and what were the working condition of inside of the factory. Let us see. So he said that 9 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. nearly 14 and a half hours their working hours. Meanwhile, only 1 hour they used to take time for lunch and remaining they continuously work. So meanwhile, the owners sometimes maximum the supervisors are organized the factories. These people are what we can say, demand them to work continuously without taking any rest. Right. So like that 14 and a half hours they are using work. But here what happened? Continuously the new machines are implemented in the factories. Slowly they are losing their employment in the factories. So what happened? How can they lead the life? They are sending out from the factories. They thrown into the roads. Very few are working inside of the factory. In the place of men, they taken women as well as children. Just now I showed a picture. Because these people are taking less wage and continuously they are working without taking rest. But whereas men are taking here and there for their personal works, they are taking rest. But small kids and women is not taking the rest. And one more important thing is, especially textile industry, small kids and women is very important to hand over these threads, to maintain the threads, as their hands are very softer, very small, very smoother, so that they can use this thread in a great manner. Whereas the men hands are very rough, they couldn't catch up, they couldn't maintain the threads in proper way. That is also major reason why they took women and children, especially in textile industries. Right. So here many people were thrown into the roads. And small craft person, those who are small owners, small shops owners, they shut down their shops. Some are working, those who are working in the factory, they sell outside. They back to their villages to work, to search of another work. So you can touch this related to this topic, that is Ludism. Ludism is nothing but the labor were struggle and very much anger regarding these machines. The continuous flow of implementation of machines leads to very bad impact to life of the workers or craft persons. That's why these artisans were angered at the machines. They completely damaged the machine. Huge number of machines were damaged by the artisans. The period is called as Ludism. This Ludism you may get in the 9th class. Right. Now, if we come to this point, 14 years. See, slowly they worked, I said already 14 hours work here. And by struggling this hardship, they wanted to demand. So in the factories as well as coal mines and some other mineral mines, people themselves, they organize small organizations and they demanded, they fight against their rights. What they fight against? Some demands they demanded. What were their demands? The working hours must be 10 or 8 hours because 14 hours they used to work priorly. Second thing is high wages. See, priorly low wages they took. That's why high wages. wages. Next, disallow below 14 years children. Below 14 years children should not allow for work in the factory. And these were the demand by artisans or worker in labor, worker in factory. See, after long struggle, finally the capitalists, the owners of these industries or factories, they accepted their demands and provided their facilities to the workers and given high wages to them, and less the timing, working hours were decreased from 14 to 8 hours, 9 or 8 hours. And they also completely, last time I said no, below 14 years children are disallowed, completely banned to take. Yes. So I will show the pictures, continuous back and back pictures, the situation inside the factory. Observe this first one. The more number of machines are implemented. See, very few people are present. You can see here. Second picture also. Main machines are more. More machines are there. Very less people were present. And even third also. Third picture you observe. Third picture. Yes, very less machines or very less people are present. More machines are present inside of the factories. But nowadays even these people also not necessary, because every machine is automated. It was controlled by, and the machines are controlled by computer. One or two people are enough to control huge factories, because everything is automatic. Only one person is enough to organize all the machines. So that's why every machine is automatic. That's why people are become unemployed. Right. Now, source of energy. Actually, to run the factories or big industries, energy is necessary. So previously they used coal, steam, electricity, petroleum to run their factories or to run their machines. But substantially other resources, nowadays other resources also using, those are thermal and hydroelectricity, means by using water they are generating electricity called as hydroelectricity, natural gas and nuclear energy, as well as solar energy. These all energies are necessary to run the factories. Now, transport revolution. What were the great changes? Transportation. As we have three kinds of transportation: roadways, railways, airways. Right. So what about railways? First, let us see. George Stephenson invented locomotive heavy loads which is good for 64 kilometers. So George Stephenson, locomotive is nothing but train which is travelled 64 kilometers. And first train which is invented by George Stephenson, it was travelled from Livingston, from Liverpool to Manchester. From Liverpool to Manchester, 46 km per hour speed. How many? 46 km per hour speed the locomotive was travelled. And these areas are present in northwest England. Next, this is about trainways. Now, roadways. 1840, John Loudon MacAdam using broken stone to construct a stranded road, which is called as metallic road, and he made as hard surface to the road, which is useful to travel very neat manner. So after some decades, now we are using tar on the roads. And who is the first person to implement it, to establish this standard road is nothing but John Loudon MacAdam in 1840. Very important, children. See, SA or DSE point of view, these 2 points are very, very important. Liverpool to Manchester, which year the train was implemented? 1825. In the year of 1825, 1925, the train was implemented by George Stephenson, where these two areas are present, northwest England. Next, 1804, the metallic road was constructed by John Woodell MacAdam. This is also very important, and that is about roadways. These standard roadways till now we are using. Next, airways. 20th century itself, a great change, that is air transportation by aircraft. These aircraft was implemented or invented by Wright brothers. Wright brothers invented the aircraft. See, you know that nowadays helicopter, aeroplanes it is also very important transportation to move from here to there. Understand? Of course, it is very costly, expensive, but nowadays people are like to travel from one place to another by aircrafts because they don't want to waste the time. So that's why they are selecting aircrafts. Trading industrial products. See, these European people, after preparation of these large scale of goods, they wanted to send, sold all these products. They needed other countries. Because they couldn't keep there itself. And the large scale of production, they can't sell in their own country itself. So they wanted the new countries. Then they come to India and America. They depend on India and America. And here, European people extensively, they produce huge quantities of production. But here, lack of products, lack of material. What material is necessary? Lack of material based on people need or people demand. The production was huge, but this production they couldn't sell in their own country itself. They must sell to other countries, send to other countries. So that's why European countries needed other countries for markets. Then focus to the other continents as well as other countries like India and America. Because these India and America consist of huge population. So that's why they wanted to sell their products in these areas. And one more thing is, they depend more on Asian and African continent because of raw material. European countries had the capability to prepare the products, but they had lack of raw material. These raw materials are available only in these continents like Africa, America, Asia. So that they made their colonies. These continents, the European countries, made their colonies and completely exploited the resources which are available in these continents. And with these resources, they prepared the huge products, and again the products are selling in the same countries. See what a knowledge they had, good knowledge persons. The same thing prepared by the Europeans and selling in the same countries. Understand? Here, colonies, the word colonies we have to remember. So which country they make as a marketing as well as the resourcing centers by other countries called as colonies. You get my point? Because you take India. India was a colony of Britain or Britishers. So they made us as colony. They exploited our resources completely and they used as a marketing place also. So it is a British colony. So like that, European persons like Portugal, Spain, France, Dutch, Belgium, etc. Germany countries are implemented their colonies worldwide, and they captured many sources, many natural resources from these world countries. I will show the world map now. You observe this first, the different colors, and I located already where is Spain, Portugal, England and France is present. These are the major countries of Europe, and these countries are colonized to other countries. Are you observing? Other countries. See, for example, yellow color, are you seeing? Spain. Spain is colonized. See, this Mexico and South American areas, South American areas. So you see your textbook and match the same colored area. This is the major country and these are the colonies of that country. Right, like that, the European countries captured all the world countries and made as their colonies. Next, urbanization and slums. So because of industrial revolution, the people came from village to towns and they developed urbanization there. These people, village people, obviously they settle in slum areas where the lack of facilities, lack of amenities like water facility, road facility and drainage facility is lacked there. Because they couldn't provide huge money to obtain all this. But quite oppositely, the owners, the capitalists are enjoying the same facilities and good facilities like water facility, drainage facility and electricity, road facility, everything is available for the owners. So they struggle with to gain all the facility by the laborers. But after a long struggle, again they gain all these facilities by the laborers. See here, urbanization. Urbanization is nothing but development of cities or towns. When these people are coming from village to towns, definitely that areas are developed, either town or cities. So these development is nothing but urbanization. That's all for today's class, children. Hoping you understand every point of industrial revolution. If you have any doubt, you can comment in comment box. Definitely I will reply to you. And keep on watching my video. Subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching my video. And don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you so much. Have a good day to all.